This video will introduce you to PFS Plus, the application that makes it easy for you to create your own personal financial statements for small business loan applications, investment opportunities, or to evaluate your own net worth. PFS Plus allows you to enter personal information including personal data, employment history, and co-applicant data if required. There are separate data entry screens for the following accounting categories: assets, liabilities, revenues, and expenses. Within each accounting category, there are specific account types such as current and long-term assets and liabilities, marketable securities, payables, etc. This video will introduce you to the various accounting categories and other data entry screens, how to change some default options, and how to print reports in PFS Plus. When you start PFS Plus for the first time, you will see the activation screen as shown here. You can use PFS Plus free for 30 days before you will be required to activate. For now, we will click the Continue as Demo button. The next screen you will see is the Overview screen, which displays the applicant information. Since you will be entering sensitive data in PFS Plus, you may want to password protect your data. To enter a password to protect your data, click the Enable Password Protection option in the File menu. You will be asked to enter the password you want to use twice for confirmation. Once entered, you will not be able to select your data file without the password. You can disable password protection by selecting that option from the File menu. You will have to enter your current password to disable the password protection. For purposes of this video, we will disable password protection. Since we are starting PFS Plus for the first time, we will select the sample data file that comes with PFS Plus so that we can see what the screens look like with data entered. To do this, we select Options from the Edit menu, then select the Data Location tab and choose the option to temporarily select the PFS Plus sample data file. To revert back to our own live data file, we simply choose that option when we are through looking at the sample data. Looking at the various tabs from the applicant information, we see the following tabs: Overview, Applicant, and Co-applicant information, Employment, Advisors, and Prepared For tabs. The Applicant tab contains personal information such as name, address, phone numbers. If you are applying with a co-applicant, you can enter that information in the Co-applicant tab. Choose the Employment tab to enter employment history for the applicant and co-applicant. You can also enter your financial advisor information in the Advisors tab. Enter the Prepared For data to include the financial institution or individual for which you are preparing these personal financial statements. Once the data is entered for the applicant and co-applicants, you can begin entering the financial data that PFS Plus will use to create your personal financial statements. We will look at each of the 4 types of financial data and the various items that can be entered for each type. First, we click on the Assets item on the toolbar. This displays a list of all the assets currently entered in our data file. To add an asset, click the plus button in the lower right-hand corner of the window. To see the details of an asset, we double-click on the item. Here we can edit any of the details of the asset. To see a list of the various types of assets that can be added to the file, we click the drop-down list of the asset types. Note that we can enter cost, fair market value, valuation method, and date, and even calculate the tax on the asset's unrealized gain. Note that the Liabilities screen works much the same way. Click the Liabilities button to see a list of the liabilities in our file. Double-click the liability to view or edit the liabilities details. In addition to viewing details of the liability, we can link this liability to any asset that already exists in the file. This can be done while viewing any asset or liability in PFS Plus. To illustrate, we select the Mortgage Payable liability and see that the Related Asset tab shows our primary residence as the associated asset to this liability. The related liability is also shown as a tab when viewing the details of the asset. The two other types of financial data that can be entered are revenues and expenses. These screens work very similar to the asset and liability screens. To print the financial statements or other reports available in PFS Plus, click the icon for Reports on the main screen. Notice that there is a drop-down which allows you to select the type of report to print. In addition to printing financial statements, you can print separate asset, liability, revenue, and expense listings or detailed applicant information reports by selecting the item from the list. We will select the financial statements to print, noting that we can customize our financial statements by selecting some of the various options shown on the screen. The selections we make here are saved so that the next time we print a financial statement, the settings are automatically restored. Once we make our selections, we can click the Preview button to display the financial statement or the Print button to print it directly to our printer. This concludes the overview of the PFS Plus software program. This video has provided you with information on the user interface of PFS Plus, how to enter and edit applicant information and financial data, and finally, how to preview and print reports. This concludes the video for PFS Plus overview.